Welcome to Smex Ed. Class is in session.
I'm your host, Amanda King, and I'm here to teach anybody who wants to fucking listen how to have the audacity to say fuck it to societal standards and live their most authentic life. This podcast is dedicated to bringing the sexual conversations we have behind doors onto the main fucking stage. Because sex, masturbation, squirting, guess what? It is all normal. And by bringing these conversations to the forefront, we help people feel less alone in this world. We help them feel safe. We help them gain their power back. We help them step into their confidence and express themselves sexually in this world unapologetically. Because it takes fucking audacity to be your truest self. And we have a boatloads of audacity all up in this bitch. So let me ask you this. Are you ready for some epic shit?
Good morning, everybody. So today I am going to do a Q&A style, training and or whatever this is. So basically, I have been receiving questions from all of my Snapchat audience over the last few weeks. So I'm going to pick about 5 or 6 of them and we are going to go over them today. Let's discuss this first question because there's a bunch of different layers to this question that need to be addressed. So when we are discussing anal sex, there is always prep work that you should be doing ahead of time before you participate in any type of anal play, prostate play, anal sex. So the prep work you should be doing is you should be having a bowel movement at least 24 hours before the session, if not as close to possible as the session. Now, how to clean the area out. Let's have a very frank discussion about this. There are a few ways that you could clean the area out. After you have a bowel movement, typically it does clean the area out, but there is always residue left over. You can shower to make yourself feel a little cleaner, or you can do what is called douching. Douching is taking a saline solution and basically putting it up your anus to wash out the anal cavity. Now, there are benefits of doing this. Clearly, it cleans out the anal cavity, although it may not fully clean it out. Some of the downsides of this, if you are douching, you are, yes, washing out fecal matter, but you are also washing out good bacteria that is in your anus. So if you douche often, you could be getting rid of bacteria that's actually keeping you very healthy. So douching is really a personal preference. Typically, if you have regular bowel movements, there's no need to douche, but if you want to feel extra clean, you can douche. However, even with douching, you're not guaranteed to fully clean yourself. And we need to be realistic when we're talking about anal sex because guess what? Shit happens. And this is why it's so important for both parties to educate themselves about anal sex because you can do all of the prep work to a fucking T. You can avoid spicy foods. You can barely eat that day and sometimes accidents happen. It is a realistic thing that goes on when you are participating in any type of anal play. So you need to know that no matter how hard you do the prep work, sometimes there may be residue. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. And that's the number one thing. If both parties are educated and have done their research, they know that things can happen and so that they are prepared for it when it does. So having extra towels, extra wipes, trash bags, anything on the sides of you to help just in case something does happen. My goal on this platform is to educate people about as many sexual acts as possible. So in order to do that, we need to have realistic conversations of the fact that whenever exploring anything new sexually, things can go wrong. There can be awkward, there can be embarrassing moments, and it's all fucking normal. So if you are having anal sex and something happens where there is leftover residue when they pull out or something comes out, it is nothing to be embarrassed about. It's nothing to be ashamed about. It's natural. That's what the cavity is for. So if you and your partner both know that, there's no need to make anybody feel embarrassed or anything along those lines when it comes to it. Other preventative measures you can take is also just being careful of what you eat throughout the day. Obviously, I said before, don't eat anything that's going to upset or irritate your stomach. If your stomach is upset or irritated or feeling off, do not participate in anal sex. Do the prep work, have things prepared. And also just communicate with your partner and have the conversation, as embarrassing as it may feel, that, hey, if something happens, do you want to know about it or do you just want them to take care of it? And then that way everyone can relax and have a good time and experience something that you are allowed to experience. There's so much tabooness and so much shame when it comes to, and fear mongering when it comes to anal sex. I just want to have realistic conversations so that we can all stop being freaked out by it and start just realistically deciding, is this something I want to do? And that happens with any type of sexual act. Is in the moment you get to decide, do I want to do this or do I not want to do this? If you don't want to do anal sex or anything sexually that makes you uncomfortable, that is within your right to say no. That is within your right to say it's not my freaking thing, right? And your partner should never be pressuring you, coercing, there we go, you, or manipulating you into doing anything that you're not comfortable with, number one. Number two, if you are comfortable with it, do your research, educate yourself so that when you are participating in any new sexual act, kink, fetish, anything, you know what to expect. Don't ever go into something new blind, especially with your partner. Only be doing acts that are part of exploration with people that you trust. Not just like random people that you trust, that you know also know the ins and outs of this new sexual act that you are going to explore with. And know that sex is always going to be kind of embarrassing and kind of awkward at times, especially when exploring things new. There's nothing wrong with it. Laugh it off, roll with it. With practice, you will get better and it will happen less. So let's discuss partner play toys. What constitutes as a partner play toy? Literally, any toy in existence is considered a partner play toy. Why? Because you can use it for self-pleasure, solo play, and or partner play. You can bring any toy into sex, and the second that it is being enjoyed by both partners during it, it's a partner play toy. But there are some that are designated to either stimulate both partners or make it a little bit easier. So I'm going to go over 3 toys that I have that are considered partner play toys. So the first one I have is called the Be My Crush wireless panty vibrator from Too Timid. They just sent this to me and I've tested this out on myself while I was sitting at my desk, and I freaking love this toy. So how do wireless vibrators work, or wireless panty vibrators work? Basically, you stick this part, the vulva owner sticks this part in her underwear. This goes against your clit. Comes with a magnet. The magnet goes on the outside of your underwear. So this sits right where your vulva is, and your partner has the ability to control the toy with a remote. These type of toys are best for kind of like out and about spicy play. So if you are at the movies, you are out at a crowded bar, you are out at a party, you are out at a dinner, this could be a way for your partner to be able to turn this toy on and off and provide you extra sensations during the event. Always concerned with panty vibrators about the loudness of the toy. So if you hear it, it does sound pretty loud, but when it is in your underwear and you are wearing jeans or something over it, you can't hear it as much. But this baby is powerful. And I think it has, as you can hear, about 10 different settings for your partner to be able to use. And all they have to do is sync the remote to the toy, and that's just by turning both the remote and the toy on, and then they will be able to adjust the settings via the remote. So pause. And then when you get a little too excited, you're almost there, they can shut it off. This is a great toy for the value. I think this retails at $89.99, which I just think for the power that it contains, it is chef's kiss. Use this one, love this one. This is also considered a partner play toy. It's called the Harrow. It's a vibrating ring for couples. It's a cock ring. If you have never experienced or used a cock ring, the whole point is for this part of the toy, the actual cock ring, to strap to the base of the penis. This is to restrict blood flow to the penis, which is supposed to make the penis harder, last longer, and have more intense orgasms. The other aspect of this toy is it always comes with some type of clit vibrator, typically attached to it, so that it can stimulate both partners at the same time. The best way this works, in my opinion, is if the penis owner is lying on his back and the vulva owner is riding either forward and or backwards on his penis. That way you are both being stimulated. This one also comes with a remote. This is a third option for a couples play toy that I have. This is called the Couples Sex Kit by Too Timid, and it has a butt plug. This is G-spot stimulation, this is clit stimulation, and this is a cock ring. So it comes with 4 different pieces with this cute little, I don't know why I call it cute, little vibrator that's like a bullet kind of style vibrator that you can actually put in each toy. There's an opening for this. So this is another option that you could use if you wanted to spice up your play time as well. It doesn't come with a remote, but it does come with 4 different features. You could alternate through the each and every feature. You could use one on your partner, one on you. It could be a really good spicy time for both of you. Let's discuss clit creams or clit stimulation creams, because I've only tested one and I am obsessed with it. So this is the Oh My God cream by Wisp, and this is supposed to be the vulva's owner's Viagra. It's a topical cream that contains Cetaphil, which is the active ingredient in Viagra. So what you do is you put a pea-sized amount on your finger and then apply it to the clit. Now the directions say to wait 30 minutes before either self-pleasuring or jumping into partner play. When I used it, I gave it about 10 to 15 minutes and oh my goodness, it did the job. Basically what it does is it also contains peppermint. So it gives a cooling sensation to the clit and causes blood flow to go to the clit to become more enlarged, engrossed, and more sensitive. I noticed a massive difference when using this without, like going solo play without this and doing solo play with this. I had more orgasms, the intensity was higher, and they happened more frequently than normally without. The cream provides a really nice, like I said, cooling sensation without being anything that makes you think like, oh God, there's something on my clit. Like, oh, like it doesn't freak you out at all. I actually did 2 tests with this. The first test, I literally put it on and wore it all day long to see if there was any increase in like sensation and or feeling. Obviously it made me more sensitive down there, but it didn't make me like raging horny, I think is the best way to describe it. The second time I used it, I applied it, used it during a self-pleasure session, and it did, like I say, it made it a lot more intense. It's cooling, but it's also like, it's a lingering effect, but not anything that is like overly noticeable. Like you can wear it all day and kind of be like, oh, this is nice. You feel like the friction a little bit more in your jeans. It's not anything that you're like, oh my God, I gotta wash this off as soon as you're done. And the suggested use with this is that you can use it up to 4 times in 24 hours. I only used it once and it was plenty. So if you're looking for a good, affordable one, I would go onto Wisp's website and look for their Oh My God cream. I absolutely love this stuff. I think my coupon code may still be in effect. You can get 15% off of any of their products. I also have their libido supplements, which are freaking great. In the background, the code is Amanda15. So if you do get it, check out and see if that gives you 15% off. Let's talk about coconut oil when we are using it as a lubricant for sex, because I've been getting comments like this a lot on a lot of my videos. Coconut oil is a natural oil-based lubricant, and a lot of people do use it because it does help with vaginal dryness. It doesn't contain any chemicals. It's all natural. However, there aren't a lot of studies with coconut oil being used as a lubricant for sex. So saying that coconut oil, because it's an oil-based lubricant, can sometimes trap things within the vagina. So it can throw off the pH balance. It can trap bacteria in there. And there aren't a lot of studies being conducted showing how it can affect latex condom, because there are certain oil-based lubricants that can break down the polyurethane within latex condoms, making them rip easier. It's really about which lubricant works best for you. So do your research on the different types of lubricants, and always just be cautious of if you were adding a new lubricant into your sexual acts that doesn't have a lot of research and studies done behind it. But there are doctors that very much say coconut oil is great to use, and there are doctors who say it's not. There's a lot of conflicting information. So if it works for you, fucking great, amazing, but also recognize it may not work for other couples because of the fact that it could cause bacteria being trapped into the vagina and or the anus. Two things you need to know about fingering. Number one, make sure your hands are clean and sanitized and your nails are trimmed before you are inserting your fingers into another person. Number two, lubrication is key. Natural lubrication, yes, but also using a water-based lubricant can help decrease friction to make it more comfortable. When inserting your fingers into another person, always go slow. So start with one finger first. If they're comfortable with it, if it feels good, then add another finger. Fingering is about slow, fluid thrusting motions, not a jabbing motion. No one ever wants to be jabbed in their vaginal canal. It's not going to feel good, and it's going to also feel like you are kind of banging up against walls or the cervix. Also, make sure your partner is fully aroused before sticking your fingers inside of them. Because if they are not fully aroused and you are kind of going in cold, it is going to be a little bit more uncomfortable because their body isn't relaxed enough to accept your fingers. If you are fingering your partner, don't forget to use clit stimulation as well as thrusting motions with your fingers. This is going to increase the likelihood of your partner having an orgasm, because not all vulva owners can have orgasms via penetration. So if you were just straight fingering your partner and you can't seem to get them off, it could be that you need to add clit stimulation in order to assist. Now, saying all of that, if you are in the sexual act with someone and they are fingering you and it is not feeling great, it is within your right to speak up and let them know. It's okay to do this. It is not a blow to their ego. This is what we call coaching and or guiding our partners. So if your partner is doing something that hurts and you know what feels good because you've experienced fingering yourself, say to your partner, hey, can you slow down a little bit here? Can you try moving your fingers this way instead of this way? Hey, can you add your thumb? Can you rub my clit a little? Don't be afraid to give them suggestions, because every single person's body is different, and what makes us tick and what makes us come is different in each of us. So we all need to have the confidence enough to speak up when our pleasure isn't being reached. It's not a dig at the other person. It is just guiding them to understand our bodies better, because we are so self-aware of our bodies because of the amount of time that we have spent pleasuring them. The only way that your partner is going to get better at understanding your body is for you to, one, either show them, which means during a self-pleasure session, don't be afraid to let them watch you so that they can get an idea of what you like, what makes you tick. Or number two is just having the confidence to communicate to them, hey, this is what I like. keep doing it this way. And I know that sex is very vulnerable and we don't want to hurt other people's feelings, but we also don't want to continue to do something that is not bringing us pleasure and or making us uncomfortable. That's not fair to you either. So being able to, in a kind and gentle way, make them understand, hey, I don't like this motion. Can you kind of do a come hither motion with your fingers? Can you slow down? Can you speed up? Being able to be confident enough to be able to address your wants and desires and needs with a partner is key. And saying that, never, ever, ever fake an orgasm in order to make a partner feel like they are sexually adequate. That's not fair to either people in this situation. And the only way your partner is going to get better is for you to coach and guide them through the act itself with you. If you do not speak up, how do you expect them to get better? They are not mind readers, right? And they may not understand that what they are doing isn't working for you because it may have done it for a partner in the past. So being able to openly communicate what you need is going to be key, rather than just faking orgasm after orgasm and then getting sexually frustrated and losing your sex drive because you no longer want to participate in sex because it doesn't feel good and you're not getting off. We don't want either of those things to happen. Let's dive into some information about female ejaculation, because it's an umbrella term that contains two separate things. Female ejaculation typically is when a woman ejaculates a milky white substance from her Skene's glands. We also have female squirting, which gets put underneath the umbrella term of female ejaculation. Female squirting is when a woman is sexually aroused and she releases a watery-like substance from the bladder out of the urethra. There are a lot of circumstances that go into a vulva owner being able to either cream and or squirt, which I'm going to refer to those two terminologies in this video. So a vulva owner needs to, one, feel safe enough with their partner in order to be able to do it. Number two, they need to be relaxed enough, meaning if you are hyperfixating on the fact that it's about to happen, it's not going to happen for you. Number three, they need to trust the partner that they're with because it is a very vulnerable experience. Number four, creaming and squirting can happen different times during the sexual act. So typically creaming happens post-orgasm, but that's not always the case. Now with squirting, it can happen prior, during, or after an orgasm. You can cream and squirt without having an orgasm at all. They are all something a little different. The vulva owner's body is an amazing vessel that is vast and complex, but we are here to break it down. So there are people who can definitely squirt and cream and not have a full body orgasm. Completely normal on all fronts. About 5% of vulva population can cream, about 50% can squirt. Those are the scientific numbers. However, I disagree with a lot of them. How much liquid comes out in each? So when it is creaming, it typically isn't a lot of liquid. Like I said, it looks like semen. It's a milky white substance. Squirting depends. If you are a first-time squirter, it may just be a few droplets. If you are someone who is comfortable with squirting and has experienced it multiple times, it could be anywhere up to a cup plus of the watery substance. It really depends on, like I said, the person, the circumstances, whether or not they're feeling safe, the amount of times that they've been able to do it, how self-aware they are with their... There are a lot of reasons that you may be able to squirt or cream with one partner and not another. There isn't just one that you can point out. It depends on the fact that, like, maybe you are more comfortable with your body, maybe you trust them more, maybe they are being able to pleasure you in a different way that your partner didn't. All in all, moral of the story, squirting and creaming is nothing to be embarrassed about. It is your body's natural response to feeling the utmost pleasure. That's something that deserves to be celebrated and embraced and just worn like a badge of honor, not looked at with shame and guilt. And think of it this way. When a penis owner ejaculates, what do we think? Oh, they felt the utmost pleasure. That's their body's natural response to it. We don't think anything else about it. We just say they ejaculated. It goes for the same thing with vulva owners. Ejaculation and or squirting is done because your body's feeling so much freaking pleasure. And the reason behind this is because male pleasure is always put in the forefront of all sex education, while vulva owners are kind of this mysterious, elusive thing that scientists just can't pin down. But there is no need to be embarrassed over a wet stain on bed sheets. That wet stain is your just like visual cue that you had a great time and that it was amazing. If you are a squirter who does squirt multiple times and a lot of liquid, there is nothing to be ashamed about. You tell your partner to scuba Steve up, put some goggles on, and go for a swim. Like, it should never be anything that you feel ashamed about, because we do not shame penis owners for ejaculating. We should not shame vulva owners for doing literally the exact same thing. Now, as far as not reaching orgasm, and I don't think I answered this, Snapchat lost its shit on me and deleted an entire 3-minute video. So if I'm repeating myself, I apologize. So once again, if you are a squirter, you have the ability to squirt before, during, or after an orgasm. And they're all different, right? So if you are squirting and you are struggling at reaching a full body orgasm, it could just mean that you need to shift up your stimulation. And what I mean by that is if you are using one type of toy, or your partner is doing oral sex on you and that is what makes you squirt, say it's clit stimulation, maybe adding thrusting with that clit stimulation with a toy or your partner, or adding a vibrator into the mix where it's, instead of licking and sucking on your clit, is more of a heavy vibration, could cause you to have a different style orgasm. So when you are squirting, it is technically considered a style of orgasm. But if you were speaking about that full body, like you feel it in every ounce of your body, your vaginal canal clenches, that is something that you just need another type of stimulation to explore, or just keep going. So a lot of misconception is that you squirt and then you're done. No, there are people out there that can have multiple squirting and creaming episodes during self-pleasure or during partner play. So it is about riding it out and allowing your body to reach the precipice where it does produce another style orgasm. When you cream and or squirt or orgasm, your body becomes more sensitive, especially your clit area. So there are a lot of vulva owners that once that sensitivity gets to the point where you're like, oh my God, I can't even touch myself, I'm so sensitive. That's where you need to keep going, because that's typically when your body is going to produce a different style orgasm. So rather than fearing the intensity and feeling unsafe or pushing your partner away, allow yourself to recognize that you're safe in that moment, that you're safe in that intensity, and on the other side of that intensity is going to be something even better. So don't be afraid to ride the wave per se, and allow yourself to continue stimulating yourself, and maybe just shifting it up a little with the style of stimulation will help you have a full body orgasm afterwards. That is all that I have for you today. As normal, if you have any follow-up questions to the questions that I did respond to, feel free to snap me or leave them in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube or on Facebook. And yeah, I hope that helped address any concerns, comments, questions that you guys had. I'm always here for you. Thank you so much, as always, for trusting me with your questions.
Thank you so much for listening to Smex Ed with Amanda. And some parting words for you today. Remember this: no matter how hard society pushes you down, no matter how many times you fall, as long as you get the fuck back up, they can never stop you. You are unfuckable with. You will win. Don't allow this world to dictate how you show up in it. Don't allow society to make you bend the knee. Instead, make them bend theirs. And don't forget, if you like what you heard, go on to iTunes and Spotify and leave your girl a review. Until next time, my beautiful people.